Baba tells us that the drama is predestined and accurate, and when we pass through any scene, we see somebody's behavior, then we don't have to have any negative emotion. Yes, because it is identically repeating the drama. And when it is identically repeating, then everything is happening just like it always happens 5,000 years, every 5,000 years. And whether you think you know well about it, you think ill about it, whatever is your opinion, your feeling, the scene will remain the same. So when you know that, then you do not create any negative emotion, because that negative emotion is only going to hurt you and harm you. So today I was just thinking that, have I really imbibed this knowledge of the drama? Because if I have imbibed the knowledge of the drama, then how would I be? I would be absolutely neutral in every scene of the drama. Yes, even if I have to respond to something, it will not come from an emotional place. It will not come from how that scene made me feel. It would come from, what I need to do in this scene. So, do you have that kind of state where you see everything and you don't have any negative emotions about it? Because you know that every scene repeats exactly like this every 5,000 years. So there's no point in judging, and no point in thinking, creating waste thoughts in any scene. Now you see, Baba says that you need a very good buddhi or brain to understand this accuracy of the drama. And you see, sometimes, although we hear it many times, but we have this not 100% faith that drama is predestined and there's nothing that anybody can really do about it. And every scene is prefixed. It doesn't sit in my buddhi. Now you see that Baba has given us the knowledge that the drama is in the form of a cycle. Yes, and in a cycle, there is no beginning, no end. Every single point is connected with the previous point and the next point. Yes, so every point is a consequence of the previous point, and it is the foundation of the next point. Correct? So at any point of the drama, you have what is the past and you have what is the future. And what happened in the past decides what will happen now, and then what will happen now decides what will happen in the future. So this is how, every single second is linked to the previous and next second. And there is absolutely no interception, is there? No. Then if the whole drama is a cycle, then obviously it will repeat identically. Because every time, it's the same process, it's the same machinery. It's like a machinery in which you have 10,000 processes. And because every single process is linked to the other one, so every time the machinery runs, those 10,000 processes repeat identically and you get the same final product. So this is how the drama is designed. There is no scope for anything to shift drastically, at this moment. So it changes from moment to moment, but then whatever happened 5,000 years at this moment will exactly repeat today, because that's how the process will bring you to that point that you will do the same thing. And so when you understand the drama, you understand that it is identically repeating. And when it is identically repeating, then everybody is doing the same thing that they do at this moment every 5,000 years. And every scene in the drama is also exactly the same it is every 5,000 years. And it's not going to change anyway. Yes, so there is no point saying, I feel good about this, I don't feel good about this, this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. All the labels that you attach to every scene, you better keep it to yourself. Because the scene doesn't want any labeling. It is what it is, and it is like that every 5,000 years. So this is why in this continuous process, which is ever repeating, we are all playing our parts, and it is very important to keep this knowledge in my awareness. Because when you don't sit on the seat of knowledge, then your old sanskars, they start, when you are not knowledgeful, when you are not in awareness, then your old sanskars start doing their work. And the old sanskar is that of labeling and judgment and creating feelings. So until and unless you keep this knowledge very immersed in your buddhi, the old sanskars will keep making you feel miserable. And also, negative feelings and reactions and all of that. So whether you like it or not like it, every soul, every scene is playing their predestined part, and they are accurate according to the drama plan. Yes, this word accurate also, you say accurate according to me, but not accurate according to you, but accurate according to the drama plan. So every scene is accurate. And you see, accurate is such a good word. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's not good, it's not bad, it's accurate. And accurate according to the drama plan. And when you understand this accuracy, then you stay in your swadharma of peace and happiness while seeing everything. And you see that when you sit, when you are watching every scene, I, the soul, am sitting behind the eyes and I'm seeing through the eyes. Now, when I'm in my knowledgeful state and I'm sitting in the prakriti in a knowledgeful state, then I see every scene as a detached observer, as a sakshi drashta. And when you are a detached observer, then nothing perturbs you, nothing shakes you. And you respond accurately according to knowledge. So whatever needs to be done, but you don't have a problem with it. You are not problem solving, you are not reacting, you are proacting. You are seeing the situation and just doing the needful. So Baba says it's very, very important to keep this knowledge of the accuracy of drama in my buddhi while playing my part. And then Baba today says that we children should pay a lot of attention to being soul conscious. And you see, body consciousness, it blocks the intellect. Body consciousness is like a cloud. And when the clouds come, then the sun rays cannot reach you. Similarly, when there is body consciousness, it becomes like a cloud between you and Baba. And you cannot have buddhi yoga with Baba when there is body consciousness. And Baba tells us that on this path, it is very important to keep checking for body consciousness. Because there is a very interesting thing that the more you do, the more you become body conscious. It's our sanskar that we do everything with ego. And when we do something, then as soon as we do it, there is a lot of body consciousness. I remember there was this close relationship with a family that we had while I was growing up. And then in that family, the father, the head of the family, he was very arrogant all the time. He would always keep saying that, I fend for you, I provide for you, and I'm the one doing everything. You people are just sitting and eating away. And then the son in the family, he was a family friend, so he used to always tell me, my father is very arrogant and he's like this. What if he earns? What is the problem? No problem. If he's earning also, he's doing it for his own family. He shouldn't have that kind of ego. And I always felt that maybe, this son will turn out to be something different. But I saw that when he became the head of the family, he was also the same. He was also doing the same thing. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then I understood, when you're not doing anything, then it's very easy to say that, this one is egoistic, that one is egoistic. But when you do something, you also become the same person. So Baba says that on this path, this is a path of doing. So this is a path where you have to do swapursharth, you have to do seva. Without doing, you cannot become a deity. But as soon as you do something, there is body consciousness. When you're not doing anything, no body consciousness. Lot of humility, we should all be humble and all. But the moment you do anything, there is body consciousness. And Maya is standing right there, making you body conscious. So Baba says, you must never have the arrogance, I do this seva, I do that. Because the moment you do that, then your intellect doesn't have any connection with Baba anymore. And you become distant from Baba, because body consciousness is like the cloud. It cuts off all communication with Baba. And when you don't have that light and might from Baba, then the seva that you are doing cannot be essential and powerful. So you may do a lot, but it will not hit the target. It will not make the impact that it's supposed to make, because there is no yoga power in that seva. So you're doing a lot of seva, but then the result is very little because there is body consciousness. So Baba says that it's very, very important that you do any seva, but you first take care to be soul conscious. And when you're soul conscious, only then you can do real seva, true seva. Because true seva is done with yoga power. True seva is Baba's seva, and Baba's seva cannot happen without having Buddhi Yoga with Baba. So when there is no Buddhi Yoga with Baba, then it is not true seva. So Baba warns us against body consciousness, and Baba says, if you want to be soul conscious while doing everything, just remember you are a servant, godly servant. And this is a very, very good method. Always say, I am a sevadhari. Sevadhari, this word, sevadhari makes you very humble. In, even in the Brahmin family, sometimes we are given labels and titles, this is a so and so, this is a so and so in charge, that in charge, this in charge. But, whatever is your position, you must always keep in your awareness that I am just a sevadhari. And Baba says, I am here to serve. So who am I not to think like that? So Baba says, keep this awareness of being a godly servant. And when you keep this in your buddhi that I am a godly servant, then body consciousness cannot, touch you. And you see, in earlier times, there was this practice that when we wrote letters, formal letters, we used to write, your obedient servant. Do you know that? It was your obedient servant, so and so. And it used to be signed like that. But then slowly, gradually, we did away with that word servant. And because you see, nobody wants to be humble. Nobody wants to be, everybody wants to be in body consciousness of their position. So then that language changed, and it changed to yours faithfully. And then, you don't even want to be faithful because only dogs are faithful. So then you change that also. Then it changed to yours sincerely. Then now it's nothing, it's just a signature and your title or your position underneath. And so people have so much arrogance because we didn't pay attention to this one word, being a servant. And I remember there was a very big officer, and he had a bungalow that was given to him by the government. It was a government accommodation, and that bungalow had 9 bedrooms. And it was a huge place. And that brother, he lived alone there. And once, I told him, so the government has given you a very big bungalow, and you are really, you are a big shot and something. And then he told me something very nice. He said, yes, the government also needs somebody to maintain that bungalow. So I am the servant doing jhadu pocha there. So he said, I am the one cleaning the whole place all the time. And so, whatever the government gives you, you have to be a servant and take care of that. So whether they give you an office or a bungalow or whatever, you just have to take care of that because you're a servant. And although it was a very casual conversation and it was many years back, but it hit me, and I felt, this is such a good attitude to have, that whatever you have, just think that you are the servant serving there. And then your job is to maintain it, and your job is to, just use it for seva. And Baba says that you also never forget that you are a godly servant. And then Baba says that when people come and hear the knowledge, then those who are body conscious, knowledge doesn't enter their buddhi. And I remember there was this one lady, she came and she was newly married, and she was very sharp. She understood Gyan. She understood the whole of Gyan. But then she didn't continue. And the reason was that, she was so busy with that relationship right now, because the relationship is new. So, this body consciousness that, when my husband is there, then I have everything in the world. And, this is the most important thing in my life. So, even Baba talks about money and position, but even sometimes, if you are very body conscious about a relationship, then you think that, maybe one relationship can take you to heaven, and one relationship can just, give you everything that you need, and that relationship too with a dehadhari. So, whatever is your body consciousness, that will stop you from, although you intellectually understand everything, but it will not make you appreciate the value of finding Baba and belonging to Baba. And sometimes I've seen that those who take the course, you ask them, they will tell you the Gyan accurately, but no relationship with Baba or no soul consciousness, because there's a lot of body consciousness. And whether it is the body consciousness of money, that I'm very rich and what else do I want, whether it is some person that you think is your world, or whether it is, Baba gives the example of government officials also, and they are in big positions, and then you think that I'm already in the biggest position that I can be, then you can't appreciate Gyan. And Baba says this becomes like a punishment that drama gives you for being body conscious. So Baba says that not being able to recognize Baba because you're body conscious is like a very big punishment that drama gives you. So every sin, every vice makes you, have punishment. And this is the biggest punishment, that you cannot recognize Baba. And if you become body conscious while doing seva, while making effort, then that body consciousness also doesn't make you feel close to Baba. That is the biggest punishment. And I've seen there are many children in the Brahmin family also, where they are doing a lot, but there is no happiness, no contentment. Yes, they are doing, but no happiness, no contentment. And there is this hunger for appreciation and recognition. And but why? Because you're doing everything with body consciousness, and this is a punishment, that you're doing Baba seva and you can't feel the happiness of doing it. You can't feel the instant fruit of being Baba's sevadhari. When you are doing what Baba says, then how should you feel? You feel like you are being sustained by blessings. You should feel that super sensuous joy. But if you're not feeling that, then it's because you're doing it with body consciousness, and body consciousness makes you eligible for punishment. And this is like a punishment. And I remember there was this one Mata, she used to do some seva, and then she used to always tell me, Didi, you never take my name in class, you never recognize me, you never appreciate me. So I said, if you are hungry for appreciation, you should never be given that. Because if that's what is driving you, then I think you should learn first not to hanker after it. You may stop doing that seva, it's okay. And Baba says, if the seva is anyways not done in Baba's remembrance and not with humility, then it is not seva. And if it is seva, then it will fill you with instant happiness and power. But if it is not filling you with that, then it is body consciousness. And body consciousness is making you have that punishment that even seva is not able to give happiness and power. So this is something. And then Baba says that you receive Baba's love at this time. And when you receive Ravan's love, you become a monkey. Ravan's love makes you a monkey. And Baba's love makes you a deity. So you see, it's very interesting. You receive love. Yes, it is love from Ravan and love from Baba. But whose love is it? That's very important. And I remember there was this one Mata, she told me something very nice. She said, we are 5 people in my house, and I'm the only lady. There are 4 male members, 1 husband and 3 sons. And there are 4 sofas in the house. And my husband and my sons, they do not get up from the sofa from morning till night. They are always lying down. Didi, they are not even sitting. They are always lying down on the sofa. And I said, what do they do? She said, nothing. My husband never did anything. And he always taught my sons right from childhood that you are a king and you shouldn't do anything. So if you don't do anything, only then you have a good life. And he has inherited wealth. So he spent that. There are flats and rent comes out of that. But they don't even go and collect the rent. They have a person who goes and collects the rent for them. And they pay him. And these 4 people, they keep lying on the sofa. And my husband has heart disease now. And I shouldn't be saying this. My sons are also on the verge of having a heart disease. Because all they do is lie down on the sofa all day. Now you see, this is, and you see when the lady tells the husband, why are you doing this to your own sons? Are you their enemy? He says, this is love. This is love. And you see, so the thing is, when you love somebody, you make them like yourself. And if you're vicious, you may be suffering, but when you're vicious, you don't know that you're suffering because of viciousness. You think you're suffering because of someone or something. Because that's the culture we grow in, blame. So you think that you don't understand, until Baba comes, we don't understand that we are suffering because of our vices. We think that we are suffering because of someone or something. And although, somebody is suffering, they don't realize that it is their own viciousness because of which they are suffering, and they make their children just like themselves. because you teach what you do. And that is Ravan's love. And Ravan's love is not given by Ravan. Ravan's love is given by those souls who are under the influence of Ravan. And what have we become getting that love? We become monkeys slowly, gradually. Monkeys who are hankering after vices all the time. And Baba says that now I give you God's love. And who is Baba? The ocean of purity, ocean of peace, love, joy, power, knowledge. And when you get Baba's love, so Baba makes you like himself. And then you become a deity. So Baba says, love is not important. Whose love are you getting is very important. Yes, because if you get the love of a vicious person, so those people who are, in the world, they are parents who introduce their children to drugs and alcohol because they think that after an age, their children are entitled to the same happiness that they have. And they think that the drugs and alcohol are giving them happiness, so they will give the children happiness also. So you just think about how, the instruments of Ravan are making us monkeys, by way of love. And then how we become a deity when we receive Baba's love. But then we have to recognize Baba, take his love. Baba is giving his love, but we also have to take his love. And then Baba gives a very good analogy today to make us understand. Baba says that, when lust is the biggest vice, and when you engage in an act of lust, remember the donkey who was decorated and he spoilt all his decoration by soiling in the mud. Yes, so, Baba gives these very good associations, and then Baba says, when you're speaking in anger, you're like barking like a dog. And Mama used to say that whenever you make a mistake, just think about a bucket of garbage. It just came and fell on your head. So, these are very good ways in which you associate. And, or I personally did this practice that whenever there was a mistake made from my end, I committed a mistake, then I would see myself as completely, black, the opposite of an angel. And I didn't like that scene. So I then used to go and purify myself in front of Baba, and then I used to maintain that angelic stage. And whenever there was another mistake, I would see that I've gone, just pitch dark and black, and that is not something I liked. So Baba says that you must have these associations, and Baba is not insulting us or something, but Baba is giving us a very good method to make us understand that you are behaving like a donkey when you are coming under the influence of lust, or when you are angry, it's like a barking dog. And Baba says if you have these associations in mind, then they will help you overcome it. And have you seen that, you are using some product and then you see an advertisement where they show that that product is bad, or it has this content or that content, and then suddenly your mind, it becomes so weaned away from that product. Something that you liked, you don't like anymore. So Baba says, create these associations in your mind, and they will help you not engage in vicious acts and not make these mistakes. Okay, Om Shanti.